What's going on? It's like, it's like in this life, it's like diversity. Diversity, if you look at nature and the way things are set up, in nature itself, things are pretty diverse. Everywhere you go, there's a different diversity in every kind of environment. And it's obviously, it's a part of this ecosystem that, one thing helps another. It's a full of these relationships and these symbioses. Where a symbiosis, where two organisms like actually work together and both mutually benefit. It's like, and most people these days, probably no one is an ethnic group is a pure, full blood, purebred, like lineage, royalty basically. It's just common and diverse, like mixed with different diverse backgrounds at this point, because our great grandparents and parents, whatever, all had different backgrounds, and then when the two combine to make a new family, it's more diverse, and it becomes actually it's common to find this these days. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that seems unprestigious to certain people because pride and reputation and this pride of life, you know what I'm saying? And look, worldly affairs, success and excelling in them. People would be ashamed to be, common and diverse. You know what I'm saying? And because look, if you look at all elitist style apartheid situations, it's always based on some kind of minority group actually trying to portray itself as the minority vote and minority opinion, or majority vote, majority thinking, the majority think, and it's a freaking mind trick. And these people take pride in certain stuff like that, and they discriminate. In India, the caste system is a lot like, is a similar standard that all your just basically any kind of just hate between different ethnic groups. They're all over some kind of pride that somehow we're better than the other guy, and we have the right to do harm to the other for whatever reason. You justify the evils. To end the diversity, instead of extending the hand of peace, you know what I'm saying, and goodwill and brotherly charity and kindness, and mutually growing and benefiting and exchanging of ideas and morality. That's the thing. It's got to be based on true morality. Men got to have integrity and believe in good morals, like don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat. Treat a common person or uncommon, a person, alien, stranger from a different land, because he has no gang backing him. Like at the time, you think you can punk him and take his stuff because he's not related to you or any of your peoples. It's anyway. It's like, look, by having this kind of like mindset of this is better than that, this gives me special rights. This mentality, that elitist, in all actuality, it's entitlement mentality. I'm entitled to rule because look, my lineage. I've had me, ego, crazy, not egocentric, but ego obsessive, megalomania style. People, desire micromanagerial position. You know what I'm saying? And once they get in, they start to, if they can get in a position where they're the ones who declare what's justice and what justice isn't, they start to project their insecurities and their freaking petty hate into their law, so it targets the common. And they consider themselves the uncommon because they got the lineage, they got the bloodline, they're pure blood. You know what I'm saying? Mentality, which a good example, Nazis. That's where that goes. But look, it's based on it's really not even based on the Vikings' way of life. It's based on something from India, which is this Brahmin caste system where these higher class caste system like won't even have nothing to do with everyone else, and it's this advanced system of superstitions where their karma is the reason why they're in this bad position, but that's only to fool the ignorant that no, this is oppression and apartheid, and it's inner race apartheid. Basically, it's like civilizations before they're conquered from without are conquered from within, and that's one of the ways they do it, through this advanced Willie Lynch social engineering, scientific dictatorship. Look, scientific dictatorship like Darwinism and what is it? Social Darwinism, more accurately. Social Darwinism, survival of the fittest. It's basically, that's just a play on Machiavelli. The ends justify the means. He who has the biggest guns makes the rules. It's that, but once they get in power, they get to write all the history books too. So it's like, look, you ain't going to be able to argue with them about what's right and wrong, because they sought the position to be in a position where they get to declare it, and anyone else who declares otherwise is a heretic. You know what I'm saying? Or a witch, or whatever, a terrorist, a barbarian, a savage. Well, you know, these are all these same stereotype, derogatory statements to minimize a person, so you don't see him as a person, so you can say hate at him because it's not a person, that's just a monkey. There's your Darwinism, right? Where man came from monkeys. You know what I'm saying? Saying it's lies, built upon lies, type system. So it's like, look, it's hard to confront the one because, look, there's so many layers below that unless you get to the roots beneath the layers, you really can't cause no real effect. Type of, this is how this thing's work. It's deeply ingrained in people, in society. And it's like, look, here in America, segregation, all that shit's been so covert. It still kind of exists in a way, but it's covert. You know what I'm saying? Here's the same thing. The Americans basically had concentration camps here before Hitler, and they've been here all the time. Just no one seems to like recognize it. That's what it is, but they just called it a different name. Stuff like that. But here's this whole thing about this. Even within that, you know, there's like the pride for your ethnic group and your race is like, look, that's not a good attribute. Like, there's this kind of like, people want to hate on the Christians. They're anti-Christian, but they're pro-Hebrew Israelite or something like, you know, something to like that. But it's like, there's a part where this sheep falls down from heaven, and there's all these different animals on it, and diverse creatures. And basically, this is a kind of play on the totem system of the whole entire world. That's the way I see it. It's like, because all these animals signify peoples and groups and ethnicities that this guy is going to eventually end up going to preach to. And he doesn't know it at the time. And he was like, I've never ate anything unclean my entire life, and I've kept all the laws. And God's like, he says, hey, what I call clean, dare you not, how dare you call it unclean? In a way, so it's like, through Christ's sacrifice, there should be no distinction between Jew, Gentile, Hebrew, Israelite, Christian, and even with our petty race stuff, our societal caste systems, we should cast these things off. It says, be no respecter of persons. Don't want the good. There's more to life than food and raiment, you know. And in the petty, the petty, what is this? Popularity contest type of life. You know what I'm saying? And all that does is it makes people racist. It makes them casteist, classist, segregation, Willie Lynch, and a lot of people preach it like it's a race doctrine, but it's not. And I'm just trying to figure out a formula